Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin, and welcome to the first of a little series here of guides, of talk-through guides, okay? So, I'm going to talk about different instances, in particularly. I'm going to cover some of the main level 150 ones. Now, I have a playlist called a LOTRO Battle. It covers me doing instances and raids. A lot of them are solo things. Later on, I will be making ones where I actually am running it and showing you. You can go and watch my live streams of us actually running temple and different raids. I talk about what's going on. A lot of those, you can see what I'm doing, things like that. But what I want to talk about today is mechanics. We're going to talk about DS, or Dun Shuma. The abbreviation is DS in LOTRO, but it's Dun Shuma, so we're going to talk about it. So what I'm going to do is Dun Shuma can be completed as a solo, duo, or 6-man. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to jump into it as a solo instance, okay? And I want to talk about the mechanics of what it is on Tier 2. I'm not going to really I will mention things about Tier 3 that I know, that I've done, but I have not done a whole lot of Tier 3 Dun Shuma. But I have run Tier 2 quite a bit. I've run Tier 1, so I will be speaking on that from a 6-man perspective, and this video is going to be me talking through it, okay? But I want to be able to have a visual aid. So we're going to jump in the solo version, and I will have a visual aid to show you and speak about spots you need to stand, the mechanics on a 6-man version in Tier 1 or Tier 2. Okay, so that's what this guide is today, and what it's for, and what it's about. I just need the layout of the land. So this is where you first come in. You're going to walk in here. The first poll usually, I'm going to try to cover a lot in this, so I will speak kind of quickly. But leave your comments if you have questions. Again, this is a talking guide today. I will be having doing guides where I show you the run with a group of my kinship or something, 6-man, will I speak about stuff too later on. But I really want to get one of these out to help show you. Shout out to one of my kinship members, Belle. She really, Bella, she really wanted to have some guides on these, and I totally think that is legit. So I want to get one out quickly. So that's what we're going to do here at Talking One today. So again, this is very, very easy. Normally the tank would just pull this front group here. Now I probably should go into my DPS dancer. This could still take a decent amount of time. But as you can see, these guys are not going to do that at all. But this first pull can be quite challenging. The first thing I want to let you guys know with these guys is the fact is when the tank usually will turn them around and you guys will be standing right behind, okay? These guys will throw abilities. They will occasionally turn around even if the tank has aggro and hit you with something. They have a little heal ability that gets put on them that you want to try to remove. It's a corruption. You want to try to always go for the Dolo first. They're the one, I believe, that gives this buff and also doesn't hit very hard. So usually that's always the target assist first. You go for the Dolo. And again, I am going to go into DPS because otherwise this is going to take way too long for me to get where I want to get to show you in the video. But I am never going to be able to be hurt, though. These guys can barely even hit me. This is crazy. I'm fully rated out with some of the best gear in the game. So I'm a very scary tank. So we're going to switch into my DPS stance while I explain stuff to you. All right, so let me go ahead and switch into DPS real quick. All right, we're back. So again, this will be a Dun Shuma talking guide. Oh, I guess I can call what's her name to help me. I didn't even realize that she'd help me out, so I'll let her help me out. Gosh, she's really strong. Okay, I don't really need that, but so basically now that I'm in DPS, this is the next part. So usually there are 3 ways you can go. I'm really going to be trying to think very hard from a brand new player's perspective in this talking guide, as I'm going to call it today. I'm physically showing you the places, but again, this is not the 6th. You get it. We're in the solo version, but it's the same layout. You're going to have a lot of ads. Be careful. Let the tank the ads and take them. Usually what the tank... I usually always go to the left side first if I'm tanking. If you're healing, remember, just keep up. Depending on, some tanks will stop right here, right? Some tanks will move in all the way and pull everything. If you have a very confident group, you can just take, 15 ads, no issue. But remember, it is, Tier 2 versus all that stuff. There are some characters that have certain abilities. They will throw spears, okay? This guy in particular, I do not know if they do it in the solo version here, but I'm speaking from the Tier 2. You see how the Dolo gave him the heal rage buff? That's what we're having to watch out for. That's why you kill the Dolo first and try to remove their corruptions that are on them. Alright, so after you've kind of beat up these guys and dealt with them, again, remember, if they have a spear animation, it's like a red thing along the ground, make sure you're not standing in it. It's pretty obvious. It's like a big red thing and they're like holding their javelin. That's something you have to worry about it at the higher group level, not on solo. All right, so this is the first boss. This is a whirly man or spinny man, whatever. He likes to spin a lot. This probably would be super easy. There's a lot that happens in this fight. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill him real quickly, see if any mechanics are even similar in the solo, and then I'm going to explain the whole fight, okay? Because I'm going to explain it first. So again, this is a talking guide today. So I'm going to go ahead and beat him up first. I don't know if mechanically he will do anything much different, but again, this is solo. So when you're playing this 6-man, level 1 is tier 1 and tier 2. This guy has a lot of HP, and I believe they even lowered his HP. Now, he has a couple different effects, which you can see right here. You see this arrow effect? I want you to keep a mind on this arrow effect right here. You need to get out of it. Every single person is going to get that arrow effect. All right? All the time. Now, he is doing something right now. You see this reflect shield? He's reflecting damage. I wanna talk about this before I finish him off. Now, she's gonna probably kill him for me. But that effect, keep that in mind. That what you just saw, that's really important right now. Here's a spear throw. This is what I was talking about, the animation, so don't get hit by these. All right? Do not step. She killed him, of course. Do not step on these traps. This is what happens when you step on them. Well, I guess they went away. But normally what happens is if you step on the traps, you get locked in place. You can use a removal, your own self-removal if that happens. You can use a self-removal and be good, but you'll have a horrible bleed. So make sure you have a pot ready too, a wound pot, because you use your self-removal to get out of the lock, but then you have this bleed on your really bad wound. So make sure you can remove that and pot that. Most healers can heal through it that are high-level healers, but it just depends, right? So let me go ahead and explain this whole fight. So when you come in as a group, spread out a little bit, but it doesn't really matter where you fight him. The tank is going to tank him. He hits very hard, but the tank should usually be able to handle him no problem. Let me talk about the setup you usually have with classes. Usually you have one tank, one healer. You have one support class, a yellow line, and then you have 3 high DPS. That's usually the meta group, 6-man group. Now, I do tend to lean towards if you have a very strong tank who has the right gear to do it, knows how to do it, and a very good healer, you can kind of forego the yellow burglar, lore master, whichever one, hunter, whoever's doing the yellow line debuffs or support, and you could just go for 4 high damage dealers or 3 high damage dealers and a high damage red captain. You could get through it so quickly with that. So I like that setup, but the regular time is usually you have a yellow burg or a yellow lore master to really help support, and I believe the yellow hunter could probably do it now too with the rework. But those are the things the setup usually have. Okay, now back to this fight. So when you come in, he's going to start fighting me, and there's a couple different mechanics, all right? One mechanic, he leans back with a knife, and he picks a random target, and he throws a knife. He puts a wound on you. Remove it right when you get it, okay? Easy enough. That's one mechanic. Another mechanic, he goes, archers! Everybody's going to get that red square you just saw with arrows pouring on you, right? Just get out of them. Preferably you want to be a little bit spread out as a group, but you'll be okay if you've got decent gear for tier 1 or even tier 2. And just get out of it, right? Don't stand in it. Another thing, don't step on the traps. Traps are bad. Don't step on the traps, okay? That's a big one. One thing he does in the 6-man for tier 1 and tier 2, I believe, is he says command something, pin, and someone will throw a spear. This is a very important mechanic to know. Will throw a spear on your friend. It will be a random target, and they will get locked down. This could be your healer, could be one of your DPS, and they can't move. They can't get at it themselves. They are stuck. You have to kill the spear. The spear has a health bar. So switch to the spear and kill it, okay? Like, no matter what. Whatever's going on, kill the spear, right? So that's a huge mechanic. You have to do that. Reason being is another mechanic he does before 25% health, I believe is the threshold, is he has Whirling Death. He goes into full Garen mode from League of Legends, okay? You guys know what that is. He just goes spin to win. Whoa, 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 whoa. And he has a certain pattern he does, okay? And I think I can remember it. But wherever he is, he kind of runs, he just starts this spinning pattern. And he starts spinning, and he's pretty darn big AoE. So you can do two things. There are 2 options while he's doing this spinning. I will explain. He kind of goes around in like a circle like this. This is not going to be exact. And then he'll kind of like go through the middle. All right. And then he'll like do another circle like this. This is kind of his pattern. All right, and I think it's actually the other way. He's running the other way normally, and then he'll like come around, and then he'll go back through the middle, and he usually always likes to go this diagonal. I notice the way they do it, and then usually at the end, wherever he's on his spin of death, okay, he will usually always come here and end right here. I don't know why he always ends right here, and then the moment he ends, he's gonna just run to someone, possibly doing a certain effect. There's 2 other effects I want to explain. Okay, he's gonna do this throughout the fight. So remember, I was saying he'll do the dagger throw, he'll call arrows, he'll have someone spear someone, you have to clear the spear, right? There's 2 other things. There is twin daggers, it says, or something, and he's got 2 daggers, right? If it's the twin daggers, you have to make distance from him, okay? He'll follow you. So if you try to, like, get behind him when he's doing twin daggers, let's say he'll actually just turn to you, right? He'll just follow you. So you actually have to make distance between you and him. He won't move once he started on you. We just have to make distance, all right? It's pretty far. It's from maybe that chest to, like, here. If you're about that far from him, you'll be good, okay? It's, like, probably, like, over 10 meters is my guess in the game. So you have to make distance. The other one is cleave. He takes his big axe, and he, like, it looks like freezes, and he's going to cleave. Cleave, you can get behind him. You just walk behind him. The tank can walk behind him. You can walk behind him. Sweet. Now, this boss doesn't seem to have AoE effects with his normal autos. So if you're like, you don't want to be right in front of him, he might actually, now that I think about it, he might have that. He uses a big halberd for the first part of the fight, like you saw, okay? And the cleave, you can get behind him. So those are 2 different effects. So those are all the effects, pretty much, that you need to worry about until you get to 25%. Now, let me jump back a little bit since it's a talking guide. How do you deal with the whirling death? That is the part that can just kill you. If you get hit by it, it does a bunch of damage. It'll launch you across the room. You'll get hit. You could hit a trap. Lots of stuff. There's 2 ways to deal with the whirling death. You could follow him. Just follow him when he's whirling. And wherever he turns, just keep following where he was. Right? That's one way you could deal with it. If there's lag, that could be bad. Right? If something happens. I prefer this way. Most people, there's two ways to do this way, okay? You could all group up along this wall. He will not hit you if you are touching the wall anywhere here. Don't be on the corner like this. Be against the wall. If you are here, you're safe. And I believe you are safe in this spot. You are not safe past this point. If you are in this part of the wall, I believe he hits you. I believe the safe point is here. It might be this spot, but I wouldn't risk it. This is the safety point. Anywhere past this point and around the curve. And all the way along the wall is safe, as long as you're touching the wall, not in a corner. All the way to, I believe it is this spot. All right? This is also safe here. Past this point. If you are here, you are not safe. If you're against this wall, when he goes by, he will hit you. Okay? So that's what you have to remember. So starting at this point, inside, all the wall spots are safe. Up to that point. It might be that point, but I'm just going to say it's that point for the guide video. You should have enough room. So what you guys can do is you can spread out. But during whirling, he drops those AoE arrows. You don't want to stand in those. It'll make it very hard for your healer. So what a lot of people will do is they'll just group up. Everybody will group up like right here. And the moment the arrows drop, everyone will just slide out of the group and stand here. And then the arrows will drop, like all 4 or 5. And they'll all slide to the next spot. Okay? That's one way to handle it. Another way, you could just kind of spread out in the huge area I told you, and then just kind of like move to where there's an empty spot and try to like hug a corner so that you have a little space, you and a friend, to go where the arrows aren't. Okay? That's how you deal with the whirling death effect. Once you get him down and you're dealing with whirling death occasionally, you're dealing with the knife throw, the spear lockdown, which you have to get people out of because now you realize if they're not out of it, this whirling death will kill them. He'll hit them with it. Watch out for the arrows, and then the 2 kinds of hits. One is the cleave, which you can get behind him. The other one is the twin dagger. You can't get behind him. He'll follow you. You got to get distance from him. Once you've dealt with all of those, and you get him to, I believe it's 25% health. It might be 30. I don't remember right now, but I think it's 25%. He's going to switch. He'll put away his big halberd or axe, and he will pull out a spear and a shield, which you saw at the end. He will then start doing a lot more, instead of big damage hits on the tank, for the healer's sake to know this, he will start doing a lot more consistent damage. And it's a lot of damage. He really starts doing a lot. But what really is the clincher, which is what is important, okay, this is why a lot of people want a yellow line there to help. He will start doing something called shield something. And you saw, once he starts it up, then he says something about shields up, and then it says reflect shield something. right? And you saw the gray bar induction. I recommend having your gray floating bar inductions on and making sure floating names are on with N, okay? That's in the settings. You need that. Again, let me just show you real quick. In case you're brand new and you're like, Zollin, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's fine. Let me see. Induction bar. Okay, so it's UI settings. Induction bar display. Okay, that's what you want. Just put IND and it's induction bar display. And select indicator can be helpful too, but induction bar, show select indicators in combat only. I would leave that off. Just do induction bars on. You'll be good. Okay, so when he puts up the shield and it starts saying that gray bar of it reflecting whatever and he's holding still, he's not attacking. If you hit him with skills, you will kill yourself. It's 100% reflect damage. He becomes a reflector. So I've literally saw the other day, we were laughing because one of our team and our hunters, he didn't kill himself, but it went on right when he shot his Heartseeker, and he just like lost like 3/4 of his health. He didn't die, but we were all laughing. But it just, that's how it happens, right? But this is the important part of the shield thing. You could wait it out, and then when he drops, you keep killing him. Or if you have a fellowship maneuver, it will cancel it, and you can all do yellow on him, or red if he's almost dead. But usually you want to do yellow with the option. This is where you really want to have, in the DS, you really must have in your group comp a Guardian, because Guardians tanking can open fellowship maneuvers. So a lot of times, if I'm tanking as a guard, I'm good with not having a yellow line character and having 4 DPS, or a red captain DPS with 3 DPS and a healer only, and that works fine because I handle the fellowship maneuver, right, as a guardian. But that's why you want to have a burglar or a lore master with the boggart pet that can do the fellowship maneuver, or I believe now the hunter can do a fellowship maneuver in his yellow line. So you really want to have someone who can open a fellowship maneuver to cancel that. That'll be important for the end boss in this instance as well. Okay? Good. Now you know. So with that, let's go ahead and head on to the next boss. You basically do that until he dies. And then you're done. Move on, loot the chest, you're good. Alright? Sweet. You know this fight pretty good now. That's the spoken version. You've probably seen me do it in streams or something, but I wanted a full spoken all mechanics version here. That's why I'm doing this. I don't know if I would call it a voiced guide, probably a spoken guide, but a voiced guide would play better with my Voice of the Rings name, wouldn't it? So anyway, let's go ahead so now we're going to go ahead and lions. Now lions, you want to be very careful. Like, you still want to aim for the dolos, but lions, they do an induction roar. If they get it off, make sure you cleanse the fear with the pot or your cleanse ability, but really just kill them. There's going to be a lot more ads than the tank is going to tank. Probably like 3 times as many ads. Now, I'm just going to go... You see, this is a more decent amount of ads right here. This is more realistic right here. Now, I'm not going to have any issues with these guys. Someone is throwing poison stuff at me. So make sure you remove the poison if you do. If you get an eye on you, I believe that marked, it makes the lions go for you more. The mark, keep that in mind for this next fight. That's going to be important to think about the eye. Alright. Now, I'm going to try to keep this leader alive more for this next fight, just so I can kind of explain some stuff as we go. The first mechanic with this, there are several very important mechanics, okay? When you're doing this tier 1 or tier 2 with a 6-man group, with this enemy lady coming up her battle. The first one is, the beginning is, there are 2 really big mechanics that are important. There is one where she does a distributed shot, and it says that your induction bar, a distributed shot. She randomly picks a target that's usually not the tank, okay? I say usually because she has done it to me before as the tank. But she will pick a target and shoot at them. You need to all group up on that target. If you are the tank, you may not want to group up on the target if the other boss comes out, which is a lion, the male lion, okay? Reason being is she does not AoE the main character, the girl with her autos, but the lion does. So you can kill your group. So tanks, be careful. Everybody else, group up. You got to all 5 be on top of each other. Now, I believe that it's the beam, so I think you could be anywhere in between her and the target, but I would, for safety reasons, I'd be right on top of whoever's being targeted by here, okay? That is one of the most important mechanics in this fight. There actually are 2 other big ones, but this one can seem... It has a few less mechanics, but it's actually kind of challenging. So there's that to deal with, okay? The other thing, she will occasionally shoot something about wounds, something, the term, I wish I remember the terms right now, I'm sorry. I'll show you in a second here. But she will launch, and you all will get hit by 2 different things. You'll get hit by a bleed and a slow. They're both wounds, I believe. So use your removals, Guardians, if you have at least 2 points, so you can use 2 removals at once, you'll be fine. If you have a captain in the group or a burglar or someone who has a mass removal, that's great. That's when you want to use it, right after she does that, okay? So that's a big one. So the removal, she's going to do that constantly. The next thing is there are lions that run around the room. They will show a red box where they're going to run. These lionesses will come out, girl lions, and then they'll run, right? And they're usually in 2 of them. There is one that's a little tricky. There's one that spawns right here at the middle and walks that way. The red bar only goes to here. So if you're not looking, the lioness runs all the way across the room. They just butt you. They just knock you around and they do a bunch of damage, and it's not good, and you don't want to get hit by them. So watch out for those. The other thing is these cage doors will randomly open and a lioness ad will come out. The tank must pull the ad and make sure they have aggro on that ad, okay? And your ranged DPS are usually ones that do this, will turn and kill the cage door. Kill the cage door, tier 1 and 2. You definitely want to kill it. You do not want them to stack up, because even the lionesses are all on the tank. They put a bleed on the tank. They cannot be removed until the lioness dies. So it's kind of like just a distance thing. They just have a bleed on the tank all the time. So that's why you don't want those to stack up too much, and why DPS is important. But you also don't really want to just focus them, so usually you kill them with AoE damage, the lionesses. So the ranged DPS usually will switch, kill the cage door, and then just keep aiming at the main girl or the lion that comes out, and you will just AoE down the lionesses. All right, now, the change part of the fight, much harder than the other boss. She is going to summon the male lion. He is a boss. She will then become immune to damage. You have to just focus the lion until he dies. But she will throw occasionally the same things, nothing changes, all the other mechanics will stay. The focus shot you have to group up for, the lions will be running out, the cages will be opening with lionesses coming at you. She will still throw at you the random, everyone gets hit by a slow and a wound. So make sure you have your own removal and your wound removal ready, because the lion, she will now aim at people. And even if the tank has aggro on the male lion, he will chase them, okay? He will chase them around the room. The ideal way to do it is usually the tank is tanking right here and they're here, or vice versa. And when he comes out, sometimes the eye will go on someone immediately. It's random. You just have to run. You have to just run. So you just run around the room. The lion will get a corruption, so if any of the ranged people want to remove the corruption on the lion so he doesn't do as much damage, that's great. But he will just murder you in like 2 hits for squishies. So you just have to run around the room and kite him, and you will be able to do it. If she lands the wound on you, that gives you a slow, remember the slow and the bleed? You remove the bleed first. It always does the bleed first. So you need to have a wound pot ready, and you need to have your self-removal ready. You can't rely on your captain or burglar to remove it for you in time. They might help you and do it, or your healer might do it for you, but have it ready, okay? Because that would be very detrimental if you get killed by that. So you have to run around the room, and usually it's about once. Sometimes you have to go a second time. It just depends. I think it's like 10 seconds or more, 10, 15 seconds that he'll chase you, and then he'll run back. And you just keep killing the lion this whole time, right? So everyone just keeps killing the lion because she's going to be immune, all right? So once the lion dies, then it's just a burn her down. Same thing, all same mechanics. Watch out for the running lions. Watch out for the cages opening with new lions. Watch out for her mechanics. She adds one new mechanic. It's something called snipe wound. I'm sorry, I don't remember the names. But don't worry about it. Just kill her. Because she basically puts it on you to bleed that you can never remove. They're infinite bleeds. And she just starts stacking them on everybody. Usually, I've never had a problem where it actually starts killing people. If you had really low damage, maybe it would start really getting bad and the healer couldn't keep up, maybe. But with our group, we've never had an issue with it. But just keep in mind, you don't have to worry about that one. As long as it doesn't say distributed shot when she's channeling, you're good. If it says distributed shot, you need to group up on whoever's getting shot at. All right? If the tank does get shot, if you're a guardian, a lot of times for the distributed shot, I just use a warrior's heart and take the whole thing by myself. It does like 200,000 damage. I can usually just take it for tier 2 at least. I've never done tier 3 with this. So let's go ahead and see some of the mechanics in action here and see if she does similar things. The Pride's fights. I don't want to kill her too quickly, so I'm going to let her kind of duel her. And we'll kind of like see some mechanics as it goes. So, again, standing-wise, usually your group is going to stand like right here. The tank is usually going to be standing right here tanking her. Okay. Come, my lionesses. Okay, so see, a lioness ad pops out. This is where the tank would want to grab it. There's also a cage door. So the DPS would probably be the ranged DPS, but someone's got to go close the door. So you actually just click on the door, and you shoot the door from range, or you kill the door, okay? And it closes the gate. That's it. That's the mechanic for that one, all right? Now, this is solo, so it's way easier, way less stuff going on. It's actually hilarious to me that the main character can kind of just duel her, and now she's just full healing herself. That's hilarious. Wow, this is really easy. This is like story mode here. This is great because I can explain stuff a little better without it being so chaotic. Okay, so the lion comes out. So now that the lion's out, you'll notice right now that she has an immunity bubble. She is now like immune to damage. She does take damage, but it's like nothing. Okay? All right, so now we kill the lion. So everyone would focus the lion, and then she would normally, she doesn't seem to do she doesn't distribute the shot, she doesn't do the bleeds. It's crazy, because it's solo. She hasn't even given the eye on me to make the lion do tons of damage and chase me. He does do a bleed. Make sure if you're the tank, you're removing the bleed from him, and if anyone else does bleeds on you, the wounds. But, you know, you'll kill him, and once you kill him, like I explained the whole fight, all right, so now we're going to go ahead and kill the cage door. Yeah, this is like so easy compared to the other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and finish her off because you pretty much know the whole fight. And then it's just a tank and spank to defeat her for the ends. Easy peasy, okay, when you're doing the 6-man. But that's the whole fight. I explained it all in talking. Again, this is the spoken voice guide, all right? We'll go ahead and loot that stuff and we'll move on. All right, we're almost there. We're going to explain the last fight here, and we'll finish up the video. So hopefully we can get this video in less than 45 minutes as a spoken guide video. Now, usually you got to be careful. There's some ads occasionally back, but basically there's a bunch of ads here that you need to be careful if you're in the back line. So don't take too many. There's a lot more ads than this normally in the 6-man. You probably should take these first 2 groups if you're very well geared out. Maybe you want to pull single groups at a time. I take 2 groups and 2 groups. It's usually under 14 targets. If you have your right stuff and you can if you can hold the aggro of 14 targets, sweet, you're set. Be careful, you're still focusing the dolo. The sorcerers are going to do some AoE things. They might summon more cobras. There's some explosion stuff they do that will, so healers be ready to drop a bubble and stuff like that. So this I've never had a wipe in this spot, but it could be dangerous still. So just be ready for it. Be careful where you're standing, DPS. Always make sure you keep your max range if you're a melee DPS, right? That kind of stuff. All right, so now we're here at the last battle. I'm almost thinking maybe I shouldn't be in DPS. Maybe I should be. I don't know if it's going to be the same. So really there's 2 segments to this battle, just like the other one, but they're a little bigger for this one. First, you're going to fight a bunch of spirit guys, all right? So we're going to walk in here. I don't know where she went. And we're going to get him chatting. He starts chatting. The tank will be tanking right here. Okay? The tank will tank right here. And there are going to be 2 ghosts that pop up. And a third one will pop up later. There will also be other ghost ads. Alright? These are the 3 mini-bosses at the beginning. Alright? I do not know if we have the same amount of... I would assume the same characters will be here when he's done monologuing. Alright? I'm going to kind of explain it here as I go. Okay? This is the hard part. You tank... You need to have all of your cooldowns ready. Your goal is to just kill one of the 3 bosses. Once you get one down, it becomes much easier. But that first beginning part is where you want to burn, like, you know, last stand if you're a captain, if you need to. You don't always have to, if you need to. Or, you know, Guardian's Pledge, Warrior's Heart. Don't be afraid to use it right off the bat when the fight starts. As a Guardian, I find this fight pretty fun and quite easy. Wow, he really talks a lot. You know what? It's solo. He probably has more lines because it's more of a story mode. That's why. They take stuff out for the 6-man, so you don't have to sit here for an hour every time. All right, so here's the first 2 characters that pop out. So, and there should be a third one. This guy. Usually people focus the archer first. Usually. That is not always the case, but they usually focus him first. He will shoot a poison arrow. That, you need to interrupt it, okay? It's not like crucial interrupt, but it's pretty important, all right? The other one would have normally spawned already, but since it's solo, it's not. There will be a third guy that spawns who's like a mage. Get the aggro on him. This is what all of you need to know that aren't tanks, okay? Both this guy and the guy will run up to random people, even if the tank has aggro, and they will start channeling. Get away from him, right? Especially the guy with the staff, who will come out in a minute. This guy, all right? So normally he'd be out immediately in the 6-man. He will do like an AoE thing, okay? So it's really the hard part is if you are a melee DPS and the tank is tanking, you're right behind him. He will, if he picks you, he'll immediately turn around and start inducting, which means this is it right here. Okay, he doesn't spin. Well, I guess maybe the other guy's the spin. Maybe this guy does an AoE poison. Maybe it's just not as. It'll do a knockback. It'll do a bunch of damage. It's really bad bleed. You don't want to get hit by it. So the tank, if he starts inducting right in front of you, you just want to back up because he's not going to move. And melees, get away from him. If you are a healer or a ranked DPS, he runs up to you and starts channeling, get away from him. Just make distance. The big AoE, you can't get behind him. So just get away from him. And same thing with both this guy and the spear guy, which we just killed with a shield, okay? This is like the sorcerer spear guy. This serpent's bite. You just want to get away from him right there. See that? It does kind of it's much smaller and subtle, clearly. It's a big AoE in the 6-man. So you just want to get away from him. But the hard part is if you're a melee DPS, because sometimes if he aggro's randomly on you, he'll instantly start channeling in place without moving, because it's pretty obvious when he moves, right? All right, so now the snake fight. All right, so tanks, get aggro on the snake. All right, so the first thing, all right, I don't want to kill him too quickly. So to finish the other part of the fight, you need to realize, hopefully I can just kind of take this while I talk to you. Excuse me. So they're going to continue to be ads popping out all the time in the previous fight. You need to just grab the ads. If there's ads on you, make sure you're close enough to your tank so he can grab them. Okay? So you want to make sure you can grab the aggro. All right? So now the next thing. Once you're done with that fight, the snake comes out. When the snake is out, you're going to be tanking them. Everybody's going to drop this poison acid. It's not that bad on solo. It does a lot more. You want to be somewhat spread out, but you need to be moving around the room slowly, all right, as you go. Because if you're not moving around the room slowly as you go, you will get cut off and have to walk through poison. You don't want to. So the tank will usually kite around the room, and then you'll drop the poisons and try to stand where you're close enough together that you won't drop poisons everywhere, right? Covering the whole room. But you also won't drop 4 on top of all 4 of you. You can't do it like the arrows. They will kill squishies. It'll kill squishies too quickly. So, basically, that's one big mechanic is the poison. They will go away after a little while, but you really need to be methodical on where you're dropping your poison, okay? That's one thing. I don't want to get killed here. I should have just done this in tanking mode, so I could have kind of shown you what... But the next thing is there is a laser eye that comes out of this and goes on the ground. The snake will put the laser eye on people, and if you get the eye over your head, you need to just run. You can't stop. So you can see the beam following you. It's like a laser pointer on the ground, and you just got to stay away from the beam until that eye goes off your head. Because if you get hit by that laser pointer... Yeah, see, I'm going to have to try and get to this real quick here. So I can get a little deep catch of breath here. There we go. Basically, that laser pointer will fry you if it stays on you. I'm gonna go ahead and kill him because there's a lot of mechanics that just aren't here. It's actually crazy how different it is. Okay, wow, that's totally so easy compared to the actual one. So the laser pointer, that's a big mechanic. Dropping the puddles in the right spot, that's a big mechanic. As you're fighting the boss, he will get a corruption. Remove the corruption off the snake. That's another thing you want to do as a group. If you have a mariner, let them remove the corruption because there's a damage increase then, right, on the boss. These eggs that you saw will break open occasionally, and you'll get 3 ads that'll pop up. These ads will put poison bleeds on the tank. I recommend if you are the tank, if you're a guardian, have enough points where you can remove 3 at once. Helps you out in this fight with your trait tree. And basically you're just going to be kiting that. The healer can also help remove poisons, obviously, off the tank, things like that. And you're going to just kite around the room, slowly killing off the adds with AoE usually, and as you remove their corruption. There's a very important mechanic. Remember, I told you to remember for this end fight. There's two things. One for the healers. There will be a ghost of Theoden here with 4 other little ghosts. Healer, you can put hots on them heals, or just heal them. Once you heal them all to max, Theoden will jump up and go and attack the snake and do some decent damage. You might want to do this right after, time it, but it doesn't really matter. Just let him do the damage whenever. But you can do that, healers, if you feel comfortable to be able to stop healing for a second and drop some healing dots to slowly heal them to have that bonus help for the fight, okay? That's a good thing for the healers to know. And then for DPS, again, remember where you're stepping. This is now where the snake will do something called coil. Make sure you wait, and I should remind you for the other fight too, with the guy with the spear, when he does the reflecting damage, it's the same thing. You could just wait it out, the coil, he won't take any damage, but if you can do a fellowship maneuver him, and everybody go yellow, right? Just everyone go yellow on it, if you can. If you're running from the heat ray, just keep running, okay? And if you're standing in a puddle, don't do it in a puddle, obviously, right? For newer players, but just so you guys know. But do yellow. It'll break him out of that, and then you can keep DPSing. That might be a good time to have Theoden come over, if you can time it with your heals. Okay? Right after you take out a coil. That's why, again, a trick, too, for our Guardians, Burglars, people who are going to open the Fellowship Maneuver, Hunter, Lore Master, whoever's going to open the Fellowship Maneuver, make sure you wait for the actual induction bar to start, so it actually has the gray coiling, and it's started before you do the FM. If you do it too early, sometimes it just doesn't work. Same thing with the shield. Make sure the reflecting damage actually has started on the gray bar just a little bit, and then do your fellowship maneuver. Because if you do it a little bit before, trying to be like, oh, I'm going to get it done ahead, it just won't work sometimes. So be aware of that. I found that just as the Guardian opening it up. Also, I mean, you could say don't stun the boss, but I think he has stun immunity always anyway, so I think it just matters if you time the thing. But keep an eye on the boss. If he has a stun immunity from someone for a few seconds left, you might want to check that on his bar, right? The little goldish pink-red symbol. It's like pinkish red, white, for the stun immunity thing. So then you're going to basically do that until the snake dies. There's really no other mechanic. The hard part of this fight is the ghosts. That begetting part. The tank holding all those adds, you guys killing. Sometimes people will split it up and someone will tank the archer. Well, the tank tanks the adds and stuff. I think if you have a good enough tank that can do it, he should just tank it all. I preferably, what I like to do is I like to go for the spearman first that pops up, or the mage, and because he does that AoE, and then kill the archer. Some people like to kill the archer first. I always sit on top of the archer as the tank. Some people say not to do that. I'm not quite sure why. For tier 2, I've had no issue sitting on top of the tank in a 6-man, on top of the archer. And then I just throw down my bastion, I throw down my bastion of light, which is bigger in tank. And I roar at them with my war chant to bring all the adds, and when they pop out of corners, the ghost adds. There's like an assassin, an archer, and things like that. You just got to make sure you get them on you. If you are a burglar, maybe you can rage the archer to help out the tank, things like that. But, I mean, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything in this speech. I will do a video of me actually playing through it and talking through it as I do it, but I wanted to do a talking guide to get you into it for tier 1 and tier 2 6-mans. So I just wanted this to be like have the stage to be able to talk and show you locations. And again, you'll go around. Make sure you don't bring the snake right to the door. There's a chance you could reset the instance. Any of the bosses, I would never recommend bringing any bosses right next to a gate of where it closes when you're in. Make sure that everybody's in before you start the fight. This gate will close people off, so you need to be in this room, not down the stairs. Same thing for the other 2 bosses, obviously. But anyway, with that, we did that in under 40 minutes, so you're pretty much set, and then you're hoping you're going to get your good loot. I mean, I'm not going to get nothing for 6. What do I get for a 6-man here? I got a basic essence. That's not bad. This is a great way if you want to get some essences for if you have a brand new character. You just want some low-level bad essences just to fill your armor, your delving gear, until you get better stuff. Might be a good way to do it. You also get some enhanced runes for your legendaries. Cool. All right, well, with that, and it does have a reset for the good solo chest. It's every day, it looks like. It says 6 hours, 8 minutes till I can have another one. That's it, my friends. That's done Shuma spoken guide for both tier 1 and tier 2 6-mans. I talked about it mostly from the tier 2 perspective. Tier 1 just might not have one of those mechanics, from what I remember. Might not have the laser. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. But mainly I was talking from a Tier 2 perspective. I've not run this on Tier 3 personally myself. Later I can make a guide on it. But, again, depending on if this instance scales to 160, the new expansion comes out in a few months. So, hopefully this helps you out. But even if you're playing this later, during the 160 expansion, it should still help you out, right? Because you might be 150 and not max level yet, and you want to run this instance for fun. Here's the guide on it. So, at least the spoken one. I'll have one later. I'll link it in the description if I do it. If I do a video guide of me doing Tier 2 with a group. So you can actually watch what's happening and what I'm doing as I tank or DPS or heal, whichever I'm doing. I'll probably be tanking. But you can kind of watch what everyone else is doing from my screen, though, too, positioning-wise. All right, guys. Have a great day in Middle-earth. Stay happy. Thank you to my wonderful Patreons for their support. Elraandor, Reb, Elraandor for being a Zollin's company member, Reb for being a Royal Guard, and all my other Patreons. You guys are the best. Like and subscribe if this helped you out and you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. And I'll do some more of the talking spoken guides. I think spoken is the right terminology I want to use. These spoken guides for Tier 1 and 2 6-mans. And maybe some other ones as well. But with hopefully being able to show you the ground where you walk and stand and stuff like that. So anyway, stay happy, guys. See you soon. Leave comments if you have questions. And please share the video if you would. It really helps out too. See you soon.